This past week was open enrollment for the Coaching Hive, and throughout the week, I shared several ideas on social media, both in lives and posts, but there was this one IG live that focused on getting unstuck, which happens to be the Coaching Hive focus for October. And I wanted to share this conversation with you here in the Coaching Hive podcast, because I think it's important to recognize that we all get stuck sometimes. And that is a part of growth. It's a part of change, and it's a part of self-reflection as well. So I hope that in listening to this conversation, you are able to gain one idea for your health coaching journey for those times when you too feel stuck. I'm Dr. Mora. I'm a college professor, instructor, coach, and passionate mentor to health coaches around the world. But I haven't always been that confident and committed to my coaching career. I was hesitant to take the next step and wasn't sure what the best approach was to success and fulfillment. I decided to step into my passion and purpose of guiding health coaches on their journey from hesitant health coach to committed health coach. With a unique approach to coach growth, the Coaching Hive Blueprint combines creating a mindful vision with inspiring guidance and progress-driven learning. The Coaching Hive podcast is your glimpse into the concepts, ideas, and approaches that underscore the Coaching Hive, while giving you the opportunity to implement tools and tips along the way. Are you ready to dive into today's podcast? Then let's go. And remember that this podcast is family friendly, so go ahead and play it through your speakers. Inside the Coaching Hive, we are wrapping up what I call Implementation Month right now. And Implementation Month is exactly what it sounds like. It is a time when all of our health coaches inside the Coaching Hive are working in a very focused and diligent way to make progress on their health coaching journey. But it's easy to feel stuck, right? You may be a health coach who's feeling stuck right now. Completely normal. In fact, chances are you'll feel stuck off and on throughout the month, throughout every month, because feeling stuck is just an indication that maybe something just needs a little bit of tweaking. You just need to make a little bit of a change. And so feeling stuck, feeling frustrated, they're perfectly normal. What's not normal is staying that way. And that is one of the reasons why in the Coaching Hive we have Implementation Month, so that no one stays stuck for very long. Because that feeling of stuck, that feeling of hesitancy doesn't feel very good, does it? Chances are, if I asked you, would you rather feel hesitant and stuck, or would you rather feel confident and committed to your health coaching career? I bet I could answer for you. Chances are you're going to say that you want to be confident, you want to be committed. So there's nothing wrong with being stuck, being frustrated. It's when you stay that way that it can really keep you from the career of your dreams. And that has a big ripple effect. So what happens if you stay stuck and frustrated? Well, as you can imagine, you don't make a whole lot of progress. Maybe you're not booking clients. Maybe you are feeling kind of burned out, feeling overwhelmed. And when that happens, now we start missing the ripple effect. And by that, I mean, when you are actively health coaching, you are making a difference in your clients' lives, in their families' lives, in those families' families, in the friends, all of these people. It has a ripple effect. And so if you feel stuck, if you feel frustrated in your health coaching career for too long, chances are you might consider making a career change, maybe even giving up health coaching. And that is certainly going to have a ripple effect, and not the good kind. Because here's what I know about health coaches. They're passionate about helping others achieve good health and well-being. And I bet you're saying, yeah, that's me. And that's amazing. And that's what we need more of in the world. But if you're feeling frustrated and stuck, you're not going to do that, right? I don't continue to pursue things where I can't get unstuck. So tonight, what I'd like to do is hear a little bit more first about why you feel stuck, kind of where you feel stuck in your health coaching journey. I'd love to know that in the comments. And then I'd like to share just a few ideas quickly that have helped Coaching Hive members to get unstuck. And I'll be honest, every time I say to get unstuck, you know what I think about? I think about that book, Little Blue Truck. And I read this so many times when our son was little, over and over. I mean, I had it memorized. I had all of the different versions of it memorized too, because there was a Halloween version. There was, I think, a Christmas version. But the main version, all of the vehicles work together to get the truck unstuck from the muck. And so every time I say, are you feeling stuck? Do you need to get unstuck? I picture the little blue truck. And what's really neat about that is that in the book, Little Blue Truck, all of the vehicles worked together. And when they worked together, they solved the problem. Isn't that amazing? In fact, finding that balance, finding that help, trying to navigate all of these tricky situations to get unstuck from the muck, that's why I created the Coaching Hive, because we all need someone. We all need a group of people to help us when we're feeling stuck and frustrated. And that's what the Coaching Hive really is about. It doesn't have to be do it alone. So would you like to hear a few ideas that might help you right now? Okay, I'm just going to assume you've said yes. First up, I want you to really think about why you're feeling stuck. Is it external expectations that are being placed on you? Is it internal expectations that you're placing on yourself? Do you feel like you have to do something specific, make a certain amount of money, meet with a certain number of clients? What are those internal and external expectations that you're feeling? Maybe it's something a little bit different. Perhaps, and I see this quite a bit, which is why I bring it up, perhaps you don't know what direction to travel in first. Have you ever thought about that? Like, where do I go first? I have no idea. Okay, so I've worked with, like I said, a lot of coaches who are super enthusiastic. They're very passionate. They're ready to get their health coaching career on track and have that ripple effect happen. Start helping people who then help people who help people, and so on. And so what happens is when you feel that big passion and you feel that really big enthusiasm, which comes with health coaching, you try to attack all sides of the problem all at once, and you purchase programs, you get all the templates, you get involved with all kinds of social media groups. And what happens is you have a whole bunch of stuff in your inbox, right? But you also have a big feeling of overwhelm, a lot of times confusion, frustration. Each of those are growing and growing with each new addition to that email inbox or that toolbox that you're building for your coaching business. So I think it's important to understand why that happens. It's because when you are focusing on too many things, you can't focus on the right things. And you know what? I've been there. I've done it. I've had the email inbox full. But what if instead of pursuing everything, you pursue one thing? I know that sounds kind of radical. One concentrated thing at a time. What would happen? Would it feel simpler? When you're focusing on just one thing at a time, your focus is very progress driven. Whether it's mastering social media, that's a big one, right? Maybe it's connecting with your ideal coaching client, figuring out how to meet with them, how to connect with them. Maybe it's learning a new skill or a new tool. Maybe it's learning a new concept or enhancing your understanding of some of those things. What can you imagine think about it like this. Imagine for me waking up tomorrow morning and you say to yourself, I'm going to pursue one thing today. One concentrated thing at a time. What would happen? Have you ever tried that? I've done it, and honestly, it's amazing. I have a planner where I plan out my top must-dos for each day, and it's no more than 3 because I want to make sure that I'm staying really, really focused. And when I do that, magic happens. When I don't do that, I end up with 8,000 sticky notes, and I'm kind of looking around because what you guys can't see on my desk is the 8,000 sticky notes that resulted from me not planning one week. I didn't step into that focusing on one thing, and what it creates is a lot of messiness and a lot of frustration and a lot of overwhelm. So I'd love to hear your experiences, your stories about what happens when you focus on just one thing at a time. At least as you're getting started, as you're kind of building up your coaching business and kind of figuring out your coaching journey. What would it look like to take a step back instead of leaning into everything that's possible? Okay, so that's kind of tip one, is to reduce that feeling of stuckness. Yeah, I know that's not a word. Reduce that feeling of stuckness by focusing on the right thing, one thing at a time instead of everything. A lot of frustration is probably going to decrease a little bit, right? If you're not focused on everything all at once. Okay, you ready for the next thing that kind of comes to mind when I'm working with coaches who are feeling stuck, feeling hesitancy, feeling overwhelmed, feeling frustrated? The next thing that comes up for me is mindset. And on my desk, I'm going to show you something really quickly. On my desk, I actually have business-sized cards of affirmations. And so I have kind of different sets of them. But they're really small, right? Nice and small. And what I do, one trick I do, is to shift them around. Based on the day I'm having, I'll choose ones that I know are going to be important for me. And so right now, the Coaching Hive doors are open for enrollment. And I chose kind of as my primary affirmation for today is I started my business at precisely the right time in my life. And what that reminded me of is that even when things may or may not go the way I thought they would go, I'm right where I'm supposed to be right now. And that is so freeing to realize that where you are in your journey right now is exactly where you're supposed to be. So I shift those around so that they're more meaningful to me, so that I feel inspired each and every day. And one great way to feel that inspiration is to build relationships. And I had the opportunity to sit down with Amy McLaren this past Monday. We had our Passion to Purpose book club inside the Coaching Hive, and Amy was gracious enough to join us for our final book club meeting. It was amazing. And she reminded us and reinforced the idea that we need to create authentic connections and relationships. And that's where the magic happens. Let's face it, we're so much better together. And it's so much more affirming when your supporters, your community can back you up. When they can help you think through what's going on. You know, if you have a challenge, they're there to help you say, yeah, kind of stinks. And here are some ideas if you're interested in that. So it's really amazing to have that community. It is a big part of the Coaching Hive because we know just how important community is, and having those peer-to-peer relationships, and that can be tough, especially in times of COVID, to find those relationships. So we have to, a lot of times, kind of go to a virtual setting, and then you have to make sure that they are authentic relationships so that they do mean something, so that it's not just everyone showing up and patting you on the back and saying, yay, because that's not really connection. It's about digging in when things are frustrating and they stink and you need help and you need someone to be able to share that with so that you can get unstuck from the muck. And so that's a really big part of having that community, is when you have those people that you're surrounded with, what's going to happen is you can start shifting your mindset to one of possibility and one of opportunity. It's something that is important. So my challenge to you is to think about how can you start shifting your mindset to one of possibility, one of opportunity. And the way I like to think about this, mindset is something that needs constant love and attention. Just like a newborn does. I kind of think about a newborn when I think about mindset. And, you know, we wouldn't leave a newborn in the corner to figure out life on their own. And that would be horrible. That would be awful. And we would never do it. Just like you wouldn't neglect a newborn's needs, you also can't neglect your mindset. You have to nourish and nurture your mindset each and every day. So I want you to think about some ways that you, right now, can start nourishing and nurturing your mindset. And I'll share with you just a few ideas that work for me right now, because just like a newborn grows and changes and their needs grow and change, guess what? Your mindset grows and changes, and it needs new kinds of things to feed it over time. So right now, some of my favorite things, I love to read, so I read books. And by learning and growing with intention, I automatically feel more positive, and I feel that outlook of, yes, I can conquer these challenges that are arising. I also have a handful of podcasts that are always my go-to, especially if I'm having a tough day, because they are uplifting, they are incredibly to the point, and down to earth with information that I need, and I need to hear it regularly. And so I've got a handful that I rely on. Now I branch out and I listen to other podcasts too, but there are a handful that, depending on the day, I just kind of go in and listen to an episode, even if I've listened to it before, because I know that it's going to shift my mindset enough to go ahead and take that next step, or to refocus myself on what that next step might be, in case I'm not feeling so sure and I haven't checked in with my peer community. Okay. You may have noticed that I like opportunities that are multi-purposed. I like what I'm doing to serve many purposes, because I'm very careful with my time. So I also, like I just said, make sure to take time to check in with my mentors and my peer community when things get tricky. I'll admit, this is not easy for me. My natural instinct is to withdraw when things get tough and to not share anything. I just kind of hunker down, and while that serves me for about 30 minutes, it's not the best place to stay in over time. So what happens is, when you connect, when you lean in, you're better able to see the possibilities for solving the challenges and to revert back to a mindset of opportunity and possibility, rather than saying, oh my gosh, this is just falling apart, it's never going to work. You can shift back to that mindset of possibility and opportunity when you lean into your peer and your mentor community. So those are my top 3 go-tos right now. But like I said, it shifts depending on the season of life, what's going on, where I'm at personally and professionally. It shifts. Just like a newborn's needs shift with time, as they grow and learn and develop, so do your mindset needs. So it's important to take care of and feed your mindset routinely. So I'd love to know what ideas you have for nurturing your mindset. I would love to know. And actually, let me share one more. I just thought of it. I've got some notes on my desk, and I just realized that I did not share that, and I'm remembering it now, and so it's super important because it's one that came up in our book club discussion earlier this week with Amy McLaren. And it was to write down what you've accomplished. Think about that for a minute. Write down what you've accomplished. How many times do we focus on all the things that aren't working? How many times do we say, oh, this didn't work, that didn't work, oh, that was an utter failure? Well, what if we kind of shift the script a little bit and start saying, well, here's what I accomplished. The thing is about our brain is we tend to remember those negatives more easily than we do the positives. And so by writing down or journaling or just even talking out loud with someone about what you have accomplished, it's not bragging. It is resetting that framework for making progress and staying focused on how to move forward. Okay. So let me ask you one more time. Do you want to feel stuck and frustrated and hesitant? Do you want that to be your normal state? Or do you want to be committed to your health coaching career and confident in your capabilities? So let's recap. If you want that confidence and commitment, let's recap here. Try exploring why you're feeling stuck. If you're feeling stuck and frustrated, explore why that's happening. And then focus on just one thing at a time. Shift your mindset to one of possibility and opportunity. Now, this isn't a magic fix. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not a magic fix. And it's not going to make everything all better. It's not going to even make a magical difference overnight. What it will do is it helps you to start taking action and making progress. And that is what is going to make the difference. So it's not a magic fix, not by a long shot, but it is what the Coaching Hive was built around. And that concept of taking action and making progress. And honestly, when I see coaches inside the Coaching Hive doing this, when I see them focusing, working on mindset, when I see them reaching out to their peer community and getting involved, that's when I see these huge transformations happening in their coaching career. In fact, I'll tell you just a quick little story and then I'll wrap this up for you all. There's a coach inside the Coaching Hive who went from feeling very unsure about where her coaching career was going. It wasn't really going to go anywhere. And over the last 6 months, we have worked on mindset. We've worked on taking little focused steps, focusing on one thing at a time, exploring values and her dreams for her coaching career. And you know what? Now she has this opportunity to build a group coaching program that will also have an individual coaching program component to it, most likely. And she has booked a weekly coaching session with a group of people. And she's so excited. And so am I. I mean, how amazing is that? To go from feeling frustrated and unsure and hesitant about where your coaching career is going to having a weekly commitment, to building a group coaching program, an individual coaching program, and feeling great about where your health coaching career is headed. What could be better? That's the magic. It's not magic though. It is having a mindful vision. It is having inspiring guidance in a peer community and a mentor, and it's having progress-driven learning so that you are staying focused and everything starts to fall into place when you do that. When you stay committed to that blueprint, that's when coaches see a change. That's when the magic happens. So it's not easy. It's not overnight. It's not a magic fix, but it is something that when you go through that blueprint, it does lead to that transformation of your coaching career. So let me know what questions you have about getting unstuck. It's one of my passions to help coaches get unstuck when they feel like they're kind of stuck in the muck, and I will do my best to answer them. Please don't hesitate to reach out. I'd love to see a DM from you, or, just comment, and I will get back to you and see if I have any words of wisdom to share, or maybe I know of a resource that might be helpful, or another person that might be helpful to help you get unstuck. So with that being said, have a wonderful evening. Good night from Dr. Moore at the Coaching Hive, and I will be back soon. So what do you think about these ideas for getting unstuck? Thinking about why you're feeling stuck, focusing on just one thing at a time, and shifting your mindset to one of opportunity. In our son's homeschooling this week, we are reading a book called A Single Shard. And in the book, the child gains some wisdom. And the person told him to take the journey one step at a time, to tell his body it was just over that mountain, or down that path, or through that one town. And in doing so, what seemed big and unachievable becomes simpler, much more doable. What if we all approached our coaching careers with that mindset, taking it one step at a time, focusing on just one step at a time, one thing at a time, and knowing that your one thing may be different from someone else's one thing right now. As you reflect this week, I encourage you to explore what is one thing that needs your focus and attention right now. And then focus on that one thing. Notice what happens, notice the progress that you can make, and the movement that you feel in your coaching journey. Until then, enjoy. Have a great week, and I'll see you back here next week for another episode of the Coaching Hive podcast. Thank you so much for listening.